Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooper-Steen, we are back here on Dallas Mavericks today, and on today's show, the Mavs' third preseason game is tomorrow, so we're going to look ahead a little bit to opening night and what that roster could look like, a little roster projection. I know a lot of you guys are saying, don't we kind of know the roster? Well, not completely. We're going to look at
Still some questions.
Projected starting five, what the bench looks like, and finalizing some of those last couple roster spots. So stay with us here. We'll dive into all of that. But trivia time. What year were the Mavericks founded? Let us know. You guys know?
Answer at the end of the show. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Don't cheat either.
Yeah, if you scroll ahead, you're a cop. Don't do that. What year were the Mavericks founded? We will reveal that later in the show. All right, let's take a look at the starting five, Coop. Obviously, no surprise to start. Luka Doncic, who, even though the Mavericks have struggled in these first two preseason games, he has not.
Yes.
He looks to be in midseason form.
He was on the roster bubble, but he barely made it. So I'm glad Luka made the roster here. Probably a big part of this team. Nah, he's obviously insane and is one of the top 5 players in the league this year. Me and you have been on the MVP hype train. I think there's a real chance that he could compete or even win the MVP this year. And he'll be excited going to Madrid tomorrow. It basically his second home, so he's going to be up for that one as well.
Yeah, and just a little teaser. We'll be back tomorrow after that game. We'll do a little Mavericks preseason winners and losers from the international trip, so stay tuned for that. But, yeah, Luka's obviously the face of this franchise right now and obviously is the focal point of this starting five. And what do you guys think? Will Luka win MVP this year? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Get your votes in down below. Kyrie Irving next up here in the starting five. Batman and Robin here. Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. High expectations for that backcourt. They put up big numbers together last year in a limited sample size, but now it's about finding that continuity with each other and the rest of the starting five.
Yeah, Kyrie dealing with a little groin problem as well. He will not play tomorrow versus Real Madrid. He sat out the second game against Minnesota. Nothing too serious. I think if it was the regular season, he'd play. The Mavs also have 10 days off between tomorrow and their next preseason game against the Detroit Pistons at home. So nothing to worry about, but just something to monitor.
Number 3, Grant Williams, who I find it interesting, Coop, and I know it's kind of going to be his role, but literally all he's done in 2 preseason games offensively is just catch and shoot threes. I don't think he's attempted a 2-pointer.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what his role is going to be, though. He's going to live out on the perimeter and catch those driving kicks from Luka and Kyrie. He does have the ability to put the ball on the floor, but it's not something that the Mavs are asking him to do.
Josh Green next up here. This is kind of the first, Omax, could he start? Could they go with Tim Hardaway, 3-guard lineup? I don't think we love that idea. Omax hasn't played great the first couple of games. Looks like a rookie. So I think if you had to ask us right now, Coop, Josh Green going to be that, number 3, the first wing in the starting five.
Yeah, and I think he makes the most sense. He had a really good season last year as well. And the Mavericks were kind of looking to see if Omax could work there in the starting lineup. I think they found out pretty quick that he still has a lot to learn. Green is your known commodity, so putting him in the starting lineup just makes sense.
At least to start the year. Then we'll stick with Dereck Lively here. I thought he played better in the second game, Coop. I think the defensive prowess is there. He can block shots. I think he had 3 blocks in that second game. Yep. We know he can rebound. Had a couple of nice offensive rebounds. I saw someone tweet out a few highlights of his. He's a hustle guy. He's going to block shots. He's going to rebound. He's going to be active. Is the game still very raw? I'd say so, especially offensively. But
and he has a fouling problem on defense as well. He's just going to commit fouls. So the Mavs will need a rotation there at center. But me and you were talking earlier. I think it's more of the fact that they just don't like their other options. Yeah. And Lively is just the best option right now.
I'd rather him learn on the fly, honestly, and at least you're going to give some good effort and ability defensively, even if he is going to foul some, than throwing Dwight Powell or Richaun Holmes out there, neither of which have looked that great so far. So grade the Mavericks starting five, A, B, C, D, or F. That center position is going to be so critical. I mean, can you just be decent there to start the year? If you can, then
I'm going to go B for now. I think if it's opening night, it's a B. That can increase, it can decrease, but I'm going to go B for now.
Yeah, I would sit there as well. A, B, C, D, or F. Go ahead and grade the Mavericks starting five. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks, and guys, I've got a fun little pick for pick 3, actually, for Monday Night Football. But before we get to my picks tonight, let me tell you what PrizePicks is. It is a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. And if you're looking to have fun on game days, PrizePicks is the place for you. I'm loving my daily fantasy sports right now, and you guys can as well. Here's how it works. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will go for more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 25 times your money on any given entry if you do pick 6 players. I got to pick 3 tonight. Monday Night Football. Give me Jimmy Garoppolo less on the passing yards, 242.5. He's coming off that concussion. He hasn't looked that great anyway. Green Bay's defense is still pretty decent, so I'm going less there. Aaron Jones, I think he can rush for more than 50.5 yards. He's a guy who's good to rip a long run here and there. And then Devontae Adams' revenge game. I don't think the Raiders win this game over Green Bay, but give me more on the yardage. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for 100 tonight. So pick 3 there. That's winning 5 extra money, 5 to win 25, 10 to win 50. I'm doing 20 to win 100. You get started right now. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS. That's going to get you a deposit match up to $100. Whatever you put in when you create an account, up to 100, they will match it for you guys. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. That link and promo code CLNS is in the copy description and comments of this video. Okay, you look at the bench now, Coop, and we list Tim Hardaway Jr. as the 6th man. Not necessarily because you and I are super thrilled about that, but
that's what Jason Kidd says he wants him.
That's what Jason Kidd has labeled him as. Now, I think we can put at least the he wasn't actually injured conspiracy theory to rest.
On Saturday,
he played in the second game, didn't play well, but he was out there. I think at least to start this year, if he's going to be on your roster, you need to play him. He's still one of your better options off the bench, so we'll kind of just pencil him in there for now.
Yeah, Jaden Hardy coming in at number 7. Just because I have him behind Tim Hardaway Jr., I still think they like Hardy a lot, and they want to find a spot for him. It really just does depend on what Tim Hardaway's role is and how well he plays in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and Hardy, not crazy efficient in the second game, but 9 for 21. He's looking to hunt for his shot, 4 of 10 from 3. I mean, look, if he could shoot low to mid 40s from the field, high 30s, maybe flirt with 40% from 3, like, if you told me right now he shot 43% from the field and 38% from 3 on more volume than last year, I think I'd sign up for it. I don't think he's going to be a crazy efficient guy this year, but he's a guy that can go for 25 on any given night.
Maxi Kleber, the first big off the bench, and I'm not really thrilled with this, but I think he is your best option to be that first big off the bench. He hasn't looked great in preseason as well. He has also been dealing with a few injuries over the last couple of years. I like Maxi, the player, but if he's playing more than 20 minutes a night, I don't think he's very effective.
Yeah, I think the front court's the big question with this team right now, Coop. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The center position's in flux. That 4 spot, Grant Williams, kind of a small ball 4. You feel okay about that, but Maxi Kleber, we know he's going to be an effort guy defensively. He can defend multiple spots, but other than catch and shoot threes, he doesn't give you anything offensively, and we know he's very streaky in that area.
Yes.
So you compile that with his injury history. It's like, okay, I like Maxi, but I'm with you. Like 18 to 22 minutes, like I don't need to see him more than that if possible. Seth Curry here, Coop. I hope he gets out there a decent amount. Now, again, the roster construction is the tricky part because you're so much heavier at that guard spot. Like, it would be nice, again, if you could flip Hardaway for some sort of big, but for now, doesn't appear that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I was kind of wrestling with this one because I don't really know where Seth Curry fits. Now, Jason Kidd did say he could play some point guard, and maybe that's where he finds his minutes at more of that role, but Seth Curry, obviously a lethal shooter off the bench, and he loves the Mavs clearly because he's here for the 3rd time. So I think Seth will find some minutes here in the rotation. I'm just not sure how often he gets in.
I do wonder if Tim Hardaway Jr. struggles early on, and maybe there's some commitment questions there, if Seth could eke out some of those minutes. Just because we know one thing for sure with Seth. He's going to be a knockdown shooter.
Yes.
Tim Hardaway can be that, but he's not as efficient and lethal as Seth in that area. Certainly he gives you at least a little more size defensively, but I think that's something to watch early on because Seth is going to make shots, and if you have guys who can shoot 45% from 3, you got to get them on the floor at some point.
He's back.
Dwight Powell, I agree, Coop. He's ahead of Richaun Holmes. Richaun Holmes does not look the part. Like I know it's preseason. I'm not going to overreact to anything in the preseason, but you couple that with the fact that he just completely got phased out of Sacramento. They were so willing to get rid of him that they gave up a first-round pick to do so.
Crazy.
I'm pretty lukewarm on my hope for Richaun Holmes at this point. I think if I had to guess, he's your third center right now.
Yeah, Dwight Powell, obviously, you know what you're getting with him, and he does have chemistry with Luka on the pick and roll. So
He plays with effort.
And he plays with full effort. Yeah, that brings something as well. He's just not a guy you want to see on the court very often. If he has to play 15 minutes, that's fine. You just don't want him being a starter playing 30 minutes a night. It's not what you want from this team.
Yeah, I'm fascinated 10, 15 games into the season, Coop, at that center position. Like, if it's dire, then, look, you can't force a move, but, like, you may have to do something because I'm starting to have concerns about what that could look like. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to have you covered all year long. Again, 15 days away from opening night, but we'll be back tomorrow with a video late afternoon as the Mavericks will wrap up their international trip. We'll look at the winners and losers from the first 3 preseason games, so stick with us there and hit that sub button. We're going to have you covered almost every single day throughout the season. All right, Max Prosper, Olivier-Maxence Prosper, Coop. I still want to see him in the rotation. I think his length is just too valuable. And again, if that center position's a problem, I do wonder if you can play some small ball where, like, a guy like Maxi's playing some 5 and Max is playing some 3-4 with Grant Williams.
Yeah.
You could kind of mix and match with those two guys.
Yeah.
I still hope he gets out there.
Max has the NBA body. I'm just not sure he has the NBA mind yet. I'm not sure he's just ready to play in the NBA. Obviously, it's preseason, but he does look a tick slow in trying to process things. So I think that's the biggest thing he has to work on. But the Mavs do need him because he does provide elite size and elite length, especially on the defensive end. And I kind of group Dante Exum in that same group with Max.
He's kind of the forgotten man right now.
I think both these guys have chances to crack the rotation just because of their size and their athleticism and their skill sets. Exum can also play some point guard, but I envision him more in the Frank Ntilikina role where he's more of a wing type that can handle the ball if needed. And I think both these guys will get chances to be in that rotation. We'll see if they can take advantage.
Yeah, I'm fascinated to see how Jason Kidd kind of mixes and matches like the wings in that 4 spot in particular because I think it's a little muddy right now. Richaun Holmes, we kind of mentioned him. Look, like I think he'll get minutes here and there because I just think they're going to be searching for answers at center. So I think he'll get opportunities, but
it just won't be often.
And I just like when he does play, he's going to have to show you something because he hasn't in the preseason so far. Again, he did not with Sacramento last year. So it feels like he's going to have to prove something pretty soon if he's going to be a part of this rotation. Derrick Jones Jr., another guy that's kind of forgotten right now. Great athlete, Coop. I just don't know where he fits at this point.
Yeah, he'd be used more as a defensive stopper type because that's really all he offers. He does have that good size and length as well. That's kind of a theme with the Mavericks end of the bench is that it's athletic guys who are good on defense but don't offer much on offense.
I do like that, though, like guys toward the end of the bench, at least like be elite in some area. And Derrick Jones is a freak athlete. So, he's a guy, late game, you need a defensive stop. You can put him in the game. So he's got some value there. And then Markieff Morris, non-guaranteed deal. I think for now, Coop, he hangs on to that spot. Yeah. I do wonder, though, I know we've talked about trading for a center. I mean, could it be dire enough that you end up signing a veteran center? And maybe we should explore that here on a different video because there are a few, at least somewhat notable centers out there. I mean, sounds crazy. I mean, I'd work them out. Like, I don't think there's any downside there.
If the questions are as big at center as we think they are, then they definitely need to do something because it's not looking good there. And I do have faith in Lively, and I think he will be a very good center for the Mavericks in the coming years, but maybe he isn't that right now.
Well, it's just asking a lot for him day one to step in and be a 25, 30-minute guy. Like, that's if he's that's a hell of a draft pick.
For sure.
I'll just put it that way. Two-way guys, A.J. Lawson and Mike Miles are currently on two ways. I don't think that changes. And we've kind of been on the same page, Coop. I just think Greg Brown, both from positional need and upside, makes the most sense as that third two-way. You get another guy who can play 4 for you. He's athletic. He's good in the open floor. I think he's a guy worth developing and playing in Frisco a lot to see if he can kind of well-round his game a bit.
Yeah, put him down there, see what he can do. He will light up the G League, I can tell you that, because he will be the most athletic guy in the G League. So we'll see. If the Mavericks need him to play a few games, he can do that, obviously, on a two-way deal. But let him develop his game and see if the Mavs found a gem in Greg Brown. I'm interested.
Yeah, and again, like a guy like Maxi Kleber's injury history, I mean, I think keeping a guy at that position just for like security. Makes some sense. And then guys who we believe will get cut: Dexter Dennis, Joe Wieskamp, and Jelly Walker. I'm intrigued with Jelly Walker, Coop.
I think he'll play in Frisco a little bit as well. He's going to light up the G League because that league plays no defense, and he is gifted on offense.
Yeah, and the reason he doesn't make it is I just don't think you can go 3 guards on your two-ways when you're already overloaded at guard, even on your 15-man roster. So that's how we see this playing out. Our roster projection for opening night. Let us know if you guys have any differences or thoughts, opinions, etc. All right, Coop, trivia time revelation. Final chance to get your guesses in. What year were the Mavericks founded? Drum roll, please. 1980.
If you were correct, 1980, you're a real one because that means you're an MFFL. The Mavs have been around for a while, man. I mean, if my math serves me correctly, I believe this will be the 44th season.
Yeah.
So the Mavs, one of the oldest new franchises in the league. Not part of the original, but one of the oldest new franchises.
Yeah, they've been around. Appreciate it, Coop. Guys, if you're made it to the end, that does make you a real one. Type MFFL.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Luka versus Real Madrid, homecoming.
Preseason winners and losers, baby. We'll be here for you. See ya.